Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Always Believer with a super special episode. It is Mother's Day weekend, which should be literally every weekend. Please and thank you. Um, so we're officially Mother's Day weekend of 2021, and last year I did something really similar. I invited a whole lot of mothers from all around the world, and we had like a nice heart-to-heart talk. I mean, we always have heart-to-heart talks, but this one's all about motherhood. Today we have a super special guest that I absolutely adore from her TikTok family, from her YouTube, of course, and her Instagram, Carla Gates from the Gates Familia. Hi, Carla.
Hola,
Hola,
hello
¿cómo
everybody.
estás?
Muy bien.
Feliz Día de la Madre.
Ay, muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much.
Of
I love to be a
course.
mom. It's
Of
like
course.
such a great, like it's not only like mom, but it is a feeling, everything comes with that word.
I adore that. I can't wait to start talking about this with you because I see your TikToks. Before I go all crazy, of course, it's always an excitement. Tell us a little bit about you. Like, who is the Gates Familia?
The Gates Familia, well, it's our family. That's exactly who we are. What you will see in TikTok, that's how we are. We are that crazy, we're that lovey. We are a multicultural families, and my heart goes to every single multicultural family out there, because I hope that now there's more multicultural families, because I think now we are a little bit of everything in this world. So I am Carla from the Gates Familia. I'm originally from Lima, Peru. My husband is from here, the United States, but with a little bit of Scottish there. So I have two beautiful boys. One is 8 and the other one is 6. And the four of us, with a doggy, we are the Gates family.
I adore it. I love your TikToks. They're so much fun. You mix, Spanish and English. You mix a lot of that multicultural. You have like the Monday salsa dances or something like that. You have
Yes,
your
Latin
kids.
Mondays.
Latin Mondays, there it is. You have your little kids and how you teach them English. I mean, not English, Spanish, of course. And it's just so much fun to see and that love and that unity. Also, as this very special, like super fun surprise, next month, if I'm not mistaken, of course, keep an eye out because we also have an interview with you and David.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear more about them and their story, they will be back. They're back because we've this is what happens over here with the Always Believer. I bring people back because, oh my gosh, it's so much love. And like you said, there's so much multicultural families out there. And thankfully with you, and like that kind of representation just brings it into a bigger like motivation, like we're all capable of doing this, like just unity and family. Love it. Thank you
Yes,
so much for like
we
sharing.
need to we need to embrace our difference. I always say that to my kids, like when they come, and I'm not even just talking about cultures anymore. I'm talking about shapes, about who we love, about everything. It's just like we're all different and we all need to be happy with that. And if we are not happy, well, let's keep our mouth closed, don't say anything mean, and just enjoy the world, and that's it.
Exactly. Oh, love it.
Mhm.
So now we're definitely gonna dive in deep with Mother's Day, of course. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of
Mhm.
questions, and we're just gonna go, in deep and fall more in love. So the first question is, what does motherhood mean to you?
What does motherhood means? Oh, that is a very good one. I think it's a little bit of everything. I think the first thing is a lot of love. You get a lot of love with motherhood. All type of love. I have two boys, so sometimes love means disgusting things put in your hand, but that means love. So you take that love. It means it means crazy days. It means a little bit of craziness, because there are days that we're not gonna find things, we're not gonna be on time, we are not gonna make plans, or we are not gonna follow plans. But that's part of motherhood. It means being flexible, because there are days that you put so many things on that agenda, and at the end you just are gonna relax in the couch and cuddle for the whole day because rain came and there's nothing else to do. So I would say that motherhood is a little bit of everything. Every single word, I think, is part of motherhood. Love, craziness, being flexible, being tired too, because there are days that mothers are going to be tired, and that's fine. And there are days that you're going to be a superwoman, because we are superwoman. There are days that you're going to be a nurse. I am a nurse. But I know many moms that they are not nurses, but they are nurses some days. You're going to be a chef, you're going to be a teacher. So I will say that motherhood is a journey, and there's so many hats. And as a mom, you're going to be ready and willing to wear it. And we're going to make the best. We're not going to be perfect, but we're going to be that perfect chef for those little two boys or that little girl or whoever you have. It's like, that's what motherhood it is. It's just a journey where there's multiple hats, and you're going to be happy to wear all the hats no matter what it is.
Oh, I love that example of like what you said, multiple hats and just the definition, of course, and love. I feel like that's just the biggest word of them all, of course. I adore
Mhm.
it. So, for now, I know there's a bunch of them, and you can have different answers, of course. What accomplishments are you proudest of?
I think I think my biggest accomplishment as a mom, because I want to focus this on motherhood, it is that I am creating two amazing human beings that are ready for the new world. And what I call the new world, it is someone that when my little kids need to speak Spanish, they are not ashamed of speaking Spanish. They are not ashamed of speaking Spanglish. They are not ashamed of liking color pink because they're boys. They are not afraid of come to mommy and asking, mommy, why are two boys or two girls kissing? They are not afraid of saying, mommy, we believe in God, but this person doesn't believe in God. They are not afraid of asking. They are not afraid of differences. They are what I call them, the kids of the future. Kids that need to be acceptant of all the different things that this world has. So that's my biggest accomplishment. Every time that I see my kid, and it had happened with disabilities, that a regular kid like say, hey, come on and play. And the kid in the wheelchair just say, I cannot run. Don't worry about it. I push you. You're coming with us. Kids don't see those things. And then with the racial thing of seeing color, it's like they're like, yeah, that person is brown or black or white, but we're all the same. And the same with languages. If they see that someone is a struggle with the language, they right away change to Spanish. And if they don't speak Spanish, they come back to me and say, Mom, they speak Chinese. Can you help us with that? I'm like, honey, I don't speak Chinese. But they don't see limits. They don't see, they're kids of the future. That is my biggest accomplishment. When I see my kids, I see that they are humans, that they are loving, and that they don't see differences. So that is my biggest accomplishment as a mother.
That is one heck of an accomplishment, without a doubt. That's exactly what the world needs. I am super honored to see that. I've been talking to people my age, people a little bit younger, and whenever we talk about kids or even teenagers, we're seeing such a big change of the future and big difference. And we're so excited for what's to come because they're so much more open minded and accepting just as a natural form. And the fact that we have parents like you pushing even the little ones towards that direction, it's something so big and huge, exactly what the world needs, because it may not be everybody just yet by any means, but it starts with that one family, it starts with that one home, and then from that moment onward, it's just going to go like that, domino effect of just going to continue, obviously. I love that.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. And it's hard. It's really hard because believe me, I grew up with some concepts in my head, that what is good and what is bad. And between my husband and I, we try our best to don't put those on the kids. They need to know what is good and what is bad. Like, for example, hurting someone's feelings is bad. That is bad. But about all the other preconceived ideas that they put on us in the past, I think we just need to put those to the side and just difference are beautiful. That's what we want to teach the kids.
Exactly. And the fact that you're breaking those generational not only traumas, of course, but just traditions that, you know, they don't really work for us anymore. And you're accepting, both of you are accepting to the fact of like, this is what's going to come and this is what we want the future to be. It's just absolutely beautiful because once again, it's going to happen. Like they're going to share it with their classmates, in the future, their friends, you know, like when they're high school and so on and so forth. And that's just like, is one of the most amazing things that could happen. And it all starts from home. So
Yes.
I once again, I congratulate you without a doubt. And you see it as well in your TikToks, and you see the way that you explain and the way that you talk about them and the way you talk to them. You can just feel it.
Yeah.
That's
And
without a doubt.
that is one thing that how you said it. Like if you come to the TikTok and you have like 15 seconds to spare and watch one of our videos, what you see is us.
Oh, I agree. I can vouch for that. I've been following you guys for a while. We've been talking for a while. I can vouch for that. And I love having people on that they're as real can be, because you get the same thing with me as well. And I'm like, well, this is exactly it. You know, crazy life in the middle, whatever it is that's happening. It's like, hey, this is who we are. I love it. What was it like for you, your first year of motherhood?
It was crazy. That's the best word to describe. I used to be a planner to 100%. I had this PowerPoint presentation, not literal, but that I did for my husband of saying, this is the best time for us to have a baby. Okay, this is the best time. This is the right time, the right moment. There is no right time to have a baby. Just have it whenever, or if it's a surprise, just embrace it. Just there's not a right time. It's a beautiful time, but it's not a right time. So I had all these plans that, you know, my baby's gonna be born. I'm always gonna do breastfeeding, no bottle feeding, because you know that's no natural. We're only gonna sing for the baby, no electronics, no nothing. We're never gonna give the baby an iPhone. We are only gonna sing for the baby. We're not gonna use music. All my plans went out the window on the first 48 hours because let me share with you, my baby didn't wanna, or well, no, it was, I breastfed the baby, but my baby was a big baby and I couldn't keep up with the production of milk. So my mom right away, I do appreciate that my mom was very, very, very calm and very, she treated me very good during those times because I could say too, my hormones were all over the place. So I appreciate that I had my mom. I know that many people could have their moms, their mothers-in-laws, or a friend or someone, but a guidance is always good. So she was the one who helped me and say, hey, honey, we just need to just give this baby formula. I cried like it was the worst thing ever. But you know what? I gave the baby formula and nothing happened. The baby just stopped crying and he was a happy baby. And it started like, you know, looking at me with that face of like, thank you, I'm finally full. Uh, After that, I realized that all my plan was not gonna be exactly how I had it on paper. It was gonna be different. The baby didn't sleep through the whole night until he was, I think, 2 months old. So it was a lot of not knowing, even that I read a lot of books, even that I thought I prepared myself to the maximum. I read every single article online. They gave me so many books. And all I can say is that at the end, I listened to the best advice from my mom and from two of my friends that they are moms. They said to me, whatever you do to that baby is going to be the best for the baby. It is your baby. You are his mom. He doesn't know any better. So whatever you do is going to be the best. And it's true because when I decide to just start relaxing, I start producing more milk. I start sleeping better. I was more relaxed and my baby started relaxing with me. We were able to have more fun together. There were not schedules anymore. There were no times to sleep. So I will say the first year was a lot of craziness, but it was a lot of learning that being a mom is something that you cannot plan, is something that you're gonna feel. And the fastest that you can say, you know what? I'm going to try my best every day, and hopefully this is going to be the best, and accept you as a mom, however you want to be, because never put yourself with that Instagram mom or with that person that wrote many books. They are amazing and they were able to do it to perfection, but we are not all like that. It is fine. The first year, if the mom can have just 6 hours of sleep every night and the baby's fed, that's it. You're a champion. You did it. Nothing else. That's all you need.
All right, that piece of advice definitely made me all teared up. Because it's so true. I mean, once again, not a mom, been a foster mom, been with babies quite a lot. Um, and it's something that I'm always very fascinated by. This is why I do what I do. Like, not only the Always Believer, of course, but these segments, these moments that in time that not only you are able to capture yourself at this age when your kids were 6 and 8, but also for all the moms out there listening, you'd be like, oh my God, I'm not alone, or oh my God, I have a newborn. What do I do? And at this point, already, I'm actually thinking of my best friend because she's like her baby's due like in a month, and we just talk a lot about it. Of course, her first one, so like all these little pieces of advice help, and especially that one, of course, the fact that whatever you're doing for the baby is the best because it's something
You
you
are the
feel.
mom. Yes, you're the mommy. So all they want is to spend time with you. That's all. So it doesn't matter how you spend the time with the baby. They already appreciate it because you're close by. That's it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Did you see a big of a difference because your boys are 2 years apart? So what about when your youngest, like his first year, and when your oldest was 3? How was that?
I was more relaxed. And this is another huge thing that I heard that from multiple friends, and I didn't kind of believe it. I thought that, oh no, that's not true. But at least on my case, because again, I want to say we're all different. So if in your case you did it amazing and both of your kids went into the same schedule and they were perfect babies, great for you. You have the magic touch. And I truly, truly like, I'm happy for you. But in my case, I tried the same things that I did with my first one and it didn't work. I love both of my boys and they are both like different people. They are completely different personalities. We do the same for both. Like um I will say that I make the same food for both, but one likes the chicken on the left and the other one wants the chicken on the right. We don't fight like small battles. If I can put the chicken on the left and the chicken on the right for the other one, we're gonna do it. That's another rule in my house. It's like if it's not a big deal, why not? You're only 6 and 8 once. You have your whole life to be an adult and to follow all the different rules. Uh, but the first year for my youngest one, I was more relaxed. So at the same time, I wasn't as crazy as with the first one. I already knew that if he didn't want to go to bed at 8 and he wanted to just be with mommy until 9 p.m., well, we will spend more time together. We'll read more books and maybe he will spend more time on my chest instead of putting him in the crib right away. So I was more relaxed. I think that's why my second one too is a little bit more relaxed. While with the first one, because I read all the books and believe me, knowledge is good. So, you needed to put it in the crib at certain times. You needed to give it his space. My first one, it is more like by the book and he wants to do things more on a schedule. So,
I feel
yeah.
like part of me feels like that's going to happen to me, I swear. I'm a planner like you, and I do read a lot, and I love a lot of different teaching methods, and I'm always like very much into them. So I'm already doing not the work by any means, but like preparing because it's knowledge and it's information and things like that. Even though you're never fully prepared, because I do believe you're never fully prepared. I know that for a fact. But me relaxing, it's really hard for me to do. So I'm gonna try to conquer that before I have kids and see if that's possible. But I think it's gonna be similar. By the time I have my second one, it's like okay, that's it's all good.
Yeah. And how I said, with your first one at the end, it's the first time that you're a mom and you are his or her mom. That's it. The baby doesn't know anything. So whatever you do, it's going to be the best for the baby. That's it.
Once again, I adore that. I really do. So, what is your biggest wish for your kids?
I want them to be happy. And I'm not saying this just because we're having an interview. I just put them in bed, how I was telling you. Every night, at the end of the song or the book, whatever we decide to do that night, or sometimes I just scratch their back like until they are like, oh, relax. They're like, oh, I love you, mommy. Before I leave their bedroom, I give them a kiss and I say, I want you to be happy. I want you to be the best. One of my kids' name is Nicholas, and I call him Nico, and the other one is Brian. So I said to them, I want you to be happy, and I want you to be the best Nico that you can be. You know that that's all that mommy wants for you. And he always look at me and say, I know, mommy, I love you too. And I do the same for Ryan. I look at him and I say, I want you to be the best Ryan that you could be. You know that you need to have a good heart and that you need to be happy. He's like, yes, ma'am. I always said to them, I want you to have a good heart. There's so many horrible stories about what happened in school, like shootings. There's so many things about bullying. There's so many things about like, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if kids can truly think in that way, or if it's us, the adults, doing that with their head, you know. So many kids that suffer depression, so many kids that with anorexic and bulimia and all those things. All I want for my kids is to have a good heart. So in that way, if they need to help someone else, they are gonna do it right away. And that they are happy, whatever it is that makes them happy without hurting anybody else, you know? We put limits there. You don't need to hurt anybody else. You always need to respect the other person. Just be happy. We have one life. And I know if they are happy, they're already gonna want to do something good for the rest. When I ask my kids what they want to be, right now one wants to be a soccer player and a science. And he wants to be a science because he wants to find but he wants to create or find new vaccines, especially with this pandemic. The other one wants to be a soccer player and a dancer and a taekwondo master, I think. So you see, it's like I already know that their head is in the right way.
Exactly, because it's all about helping people or being like a teacher or something.
Yes. So I want them to be happy with a good heart. That's what I want for my kids.
First of all, I adore that answer, of course, because how can I not? And I also love their answers of what they wanted to be.
Yes.
One, the scientist, like, I want to help people, and the other one, like, taekwondo master.
Yes.
I love that, though. I feel like it's very original. I mean, I don't know, maybe boyish, I guess, but still, it's kind of like, hey, it's very specific as well.
Yes, yes.
Right?
And we're gonna help them that because he wants to be a dancer. I talked to my husband, and I said, I think we need to help him. He keeps saying he wants to be a dancer. So we, because of this pandemic too, certain sport and certain things, we are like very careful about what we do indoors. So we are talking, and maybe, if the vaccine start like getting bigger, more people get vaccinated, we are going to start dancing classes with him because he keeps asking, why not?
Exactly. Why not? At least start that passion. I love that even if he's a boy, you're like, yeah, of course. I mean, it's not just a girl thing by any means. Goodness gracious, no. There's so many good
Yes.
dancers, without a doubt. Ooh. So my next one is, do you remember the exact moment you wanted to become a mom?
Yes, of course.
I had a hunch with you. That's why I was like, ooh, I think he's gonna say yes.
I knew I wanted kids since I have a memory. If I always play house and I always was the mom. I always wanted to have a boy and a girl. The very first time when I had my first boyfriend, I always say I want to have kids. I knew I wanted two. I wanted just a boy and a girl, a boy and a girl. When I met my husband, one of the first things that I asked him is, because we are 8 years apart, I said, do you want kids? Because that's something big on me. And especially because we come from different cultures. He was the first American that I ever dated. So when he said yes, I'm like, okay, we're in the right path.
This is like we started off great already.
Yes, this is going to take us to a very long relationship. And then when I knew I was ready because, you know, as I said to you, I was a planner and I was like, this is the perfect time. I'm like, okay, let's have my 2 kids. The first one, he's a boy. For the second one, I'm not going to lie, I wanted a girl. I'm a super girly girl. So I was like, oh, I had a hunch. I'm like, this is going to be a girl. I already knew my symptoms are different than the first one. And when I think they called me to give me the results because I did a blood test and they did it before the ultrasound. And I remember that the nurse is like, oh, congratulations, you're having a boy. And I didn't feel sad or nothing, but I said to her, I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, 100%. This is even more accurate than the ultrasound. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, a boy. Okay, we're getting another boy, 2 boys. That's it.
It's like, are you sure? Okay, it's fine.
Yes.
It's all good.
I just wanted to make sure.
We just have to keep on going because we have to. Oh my gosh. One of my favorite things, what I've been finding out a lot more, because a lot of my girlfriends and just friends in general, basically, all of them have boys. Like I'm thinking now if any of them have girls. Some of them I have girls, but in general, they're all having boys. And you know, much like you, some of them wanted girls, obviously so, and we all kind of came to the general, you know, message of, well, you know, you're raising the boys that we want to see in the future, who respect, who when they know it's no, that no means no, and creating those boundaries and being very vulnerable with their feelings as well, being open, being, hey, I do like pink, hey, I do want to be a dancer, you know. So that's the benefit of women like us having boys.
Yes, I totally agree with that because I even corrected my kid, my oldest one, once because they were playing outside and they were running, and my youngest one, of course, because he's 2 years younger, is lower, you know. And he looked at him and said, "You run like a little girl." And I look at him and say, "Excuse me, what does that mean?" You and I, right now, let's see who can win. And of course, I can beat him. I'm bigger than him, you know.
Of course.
And I'm like, so tell me, girls or boys, who runs faster? And he was like, well, it depends. I'm like, you're right, it depends. So never think that because someone is slower or is the last, that you can say, oh, you run like a girl or you hit like a girl. Everything, it depends of the age, of how much you practice. It doesn't depend if you are a boy or a girl. It's not. Okay, can I call him a baby? Yes, you can call him a baby if he cries like a baby, but you cannot call him a little girl. You know, from that part, because then they start just growing with that, like, you throw like a girl, you know? No,
yeah,
we're going to stop that right there.
Right now, without a doubt, because they're young enough to understand, like, that's all the way to go, obviously. And at the same time, like I was saying, like being vulnerable, for example, or just being,
yes.
I can't mention this book enough. I feel like I've mentioned it probably more on my like Insta stories and things like that. Justin Baldoni's book. I don't know if you know Justin Baldoni. Have you watched, or do you know Jane the Virgin?
No.
So it's a not sitcom. Well, it's a telenovela, basically.
I know the name, but that's one thing about me. I don't watch too much TV.
That's a good thing. Believe me. Actually, I don't watch a lot of TV either because I didn't grow up with a TV. So as an adult, I really don't do that. I love to read. But a lot of people know Justin Baldoni because he was one of the main characters of Jane the Virgin. He's also a really good writer and a really good person who, as a coach, as a just a decent human being in this world that we all need, basically, that we need more of. And he just wrote this book that came out literally a couple weeks ago, like April 27th. And it's oh my goodness, man enough, undefine my masculinity, I can't say the word, but it's all about that. It's about him opening up as a man and what it feels like to go through those emotions, to also be, you know, he's very, very attractive, and he's also worked in Hollywood, or like how he was, you know, fat shamed or body shamed and all these sorts of things and concepts. And he also has a boy and a girl, actually, in this case, and he's like, this is for the sons, this is for the boyfriends, this is for the husbands. Women can also read it. I'm currently almost done reading at this point already. I've talked to him a bunch of times. He gave me a signed copy. He's a sweetheart of a man. And it's one of those books that I think I'm like, oh my God, I would love to give it to you, for example, like for your kids in the future, because they're still 6 and 8, of course. This is like a legit book. but it's so nice to see that the conversation is finally happening.
I want to read now that book.
I think you would really, really like it. I'll show you, and I'll post about it. I feel like I told this to Courtney recently, one of our conversation, Courtney Burns from Braley Beautiful Brand, also for a different podcast episode. We talked about it as well because I had to mention it. And like I told people in that episode, I'm going to turn my personal Instagram into a bookstagram because I keep getting asked a whole lot. So I'm like,
so I can check it out.
If I can say one book right now, it's that one among all the ones that I'm currently reading. But that one, when it comes to boys, I'm like, I have to mention this because it's just an eye opener without a doubt. Going back to motherhood. So, what is one of your favorite bonding activities to do with them?
I think I have two. Our nighttime is one of the best times for me because, how I say, sometimes I read a book. If mommy reads a book, mommy only reads in Spanish. Mommy doesn't read English books. That's a rule here in the house. So we have our books that are soccer related, but they're in Spanish. So I love soccer. So our nighttime activity is the bonding time, no matter what we do. How I say, we have the book. Then I have another one where it is, I sing for them and I scratch their back, like los rasco la espaldita, and I sing for them. I don't have a good voice, but to them, I have best voice in the world. They both complement my voice. If you ask my husband, he's gonna say that my voice, that God gave me looks, not the voice. That's what he will always say. But for my two boys, they love it. So I will scratch their back. Is that how you say it in English? Scratch? I don't know why
You
it
scratch
feels
your
right.
back. You
Okay.
scratch their back, which is
Okay.
yeah.
In a sweet way. And I sing to them. And I have like special song. One is I Love You Baby, but the Spanish version. And there's another one that is from an Argentina show that I used to watch when I was a little girl. And the name of the show is Chiquititas, and the name of the song is Corazón con Agujerito. So I sing that to them every night. They choose between the songs that they would like, or if they want me to read a book. That's one of like, I love that. But the other part that I love is that when we go for runs together, Ariana, you have no idea how much of my heart is like involved in running. I have the best conversations with them when we go for a run. I will go for a 5K. My 8-year-old is already doing a 5K with me. And during the run, we talk. I can see him how he's like, challenging himself. And we go to talk all the way from girls that he likes to how a guy was saying some mean things to another little boy and how he reacted, how sometimes he doesn't understand math that good, things that I don't know if parents have those type of conversations every day. I don't. I just get those like deep conversations with an 8-year-old and with a 6-year-old during my runs because there's nothing else to do. We don't listen to music. We just go for a run. It's just mommy and one of them. And sometimes it's both of them. And when it's both of them, maybe we don't go to those deep conversations, but they still talk to me. They tell me a little bit more about their day to day, or they tell me about some ideas, what they are planning to create, or they ask me questions like why we cannot live in the moon, or like, 6 and 8 years old things. So those two are like by far my best things to do with my boys.
Goodness gracious, those ideas. Well, definitely the nighttime routine. I feel like I adore because I always, every time I was with my foster babies, the nighttime routine was always so nice and lovely to do. But I love the idea of the run completely. It's going back to the run, of course, would be it's such an innovative idea. One, because of course you're a big working out kind of family, soccer driven family. So it makes perfect sense, especially since both of your boys are in soccer. So they're used to that momentum, of course. When did you start running with them? Like, first of all, it's impressive that he already does the 5K at 8 years old, but when did you start doing those kind of moments with them?
Um, They went for runs with me since I was pregnant. That was my time to connect to my babies. I believe that you can connect with your babies in the moment they are right there inside. I ran with my first one all the way to 32 weeks. I did it in a healthy way, following the direction of my OBGYN. So if you want to do it, please make sure that your doctor knows. And I bought the band that helps you with the pressure and everything. And I needed to lower my pace and take bathroom breaks because, things need to be in the right way. Um, I ran with my second one all the way to 24 weeks because I was having some issues with the pressure. So the doctor told me you need to stop, and I did right away. But I started running with them since they were in my belly. And then we went for runs when they were in the stroller, when they were like 1 week old, 2 months, 3 months, I never stopped. And I will do sometimes 1 mile, something as simple as 1 mile. And it wasn't running, it was like walk and jog, especially after, having the baby. Until one day I remember my oldest one, because, I, I went through my first experience as a mom with him. With the second one,
Exactly.
I kind of was prepared already. I remember once when he was 15 months, he looked at me at the stroller and he's like, Mommy, I want to run with you. I'm like, no, honey, mommy's running. I'm going to finish my run and then we can go to the park. And he's like, no, I want to run with you. So I took him out of the stroller. Now we're talking about 15 months, he can barely kind of walk. So he's still running with me. And I'm like, okay, we're going to do it until he say, I'm done. And of course, after like 3 blocks, he say, I'm done. And he went back to his stroller. But after another 5 blocks, he was like, can we run again? I will take him out, make him run, and then keep doing that. Another day, I say I'm going for a run, and he's like, can I go for a run with you? Now, believe me, as a runner, and I'm not going to lie, I want to be honest, it kind of, I was like, oh, I want to do just a fast run. I just want to do my 5K and be back right away. But if you take the time, how I say now, my 8-year-old can do the 5K with no problem. My 6-year-old is able to do a 4K. And I always go on their pace. I wait for them. I say sometimes we need to kind of like lower the pace. The only thing, I do like to push my kids, not to their limits, but I try to put a little bit of a challenge. So I always look at them and I say, we're going for a run. So we are running. We're not stopping. We can go really, really, really slow, but we are not walking. So they know we can go like, it's almost like we're walking, but it's kind of like a teeny higher pace. So we always run. And I listen to them, and I think that's what they like, because even that they know is running is on their term. So they like that.
As always, you leave me without words, of course, and I knew that you were going to, especially these episodes. But the more I find out more of like those little small details that works for different families, of course. But the fact that, of course, they're natural born runners because it was since they were inside you. And I also agree, as soon as, they're a thing inside you, like they understand, they know exactly how you feel, and if you're relaxed, they're relaxed, so on and so forth. So the fact that it's been a constant pattern since they were, not even out in this world just yet, you
Yes.
can definitely tell. Those are beautiful, 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 like bonding experiences that I know you will carry. You reminded me of Lorraine C. Gladish. She's just an expert about a whole bunch of other stuff about yoga and like healthy living, and she's just the greatest. She actually not only introduced me to Jeanette, who's going to be on our show tomorrow, Jeanette Kaplum. She was in our podcast last season. So she did her Go to Fly story, much like you did with David, for
Mhm.
example. And she was also in our Mother's Day special last year. She grew up running with her dad. So that's something that she posts constantly about as well, that she misses. And every time she goes running, because, well, she's from Spain, but she lives down in Florida. So they haven't really seen each other, especially through the pandemic, obviously. So So once again, I see you in that connection with your boys. I like immediately got transported to Lorraine and her dad, who they still both go for runs and they still talk on the phone, even through the time difference. And
Mhm.
even through the physical distance of living in two different continents, so that's definitely something that like will carry you through without a doubt for the three of you. I love it. Oh my god, that's so nice.
I think just having that, how I say, that time of no other interruptions.
Distractions. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Because here at home, yes, we do a lot of activities. We play board game, we watch some movies together, we sit down for dinner every night, and we talk about the day. But that is there. Sometimes my parents are there, sometimes the brother is there. When it's one-on-one, it's a completely different experience and
So
nothing else.
different. It is so different, and I it's something I always appreciate so much because they show so much
Mhm.
and they let you in. Oh, just gonna make me all teary. Ooh, I love the next question actually. What is the first word that comes to your mind when you hear their name?
when I when I hear Ryan, I think the first word to come to me is determined. And I will say that that's good and it's bad, but that's who he is, because he's so determined that he will, I think whatever he wants in this world, he will get it. And I say that that's bad because that's why it is my job to give him a good heart. Because with a good heart, he will do something good for this world. With a bad heart, he will be so determined that he will destroy us all.
At least she knows
No,
her kid well.
yes. So he's determined for whatever it is, soccer game. If he wants to win, he's gonna put it all. But at the same, if he doesn't want to do homework, he will be determined enough that no matter what you do, that no matter if you tell him you will go to timeout, you will lose the Nintendo, he will give you that face and say, okay, you know?
Yep.
So the word that it is determined. And for Nico, I just want Nico. It's I I don't think there is like a word that I will use or he's the baby that came to push my boundaries. I'm a planner, he's not. I want things done in certain way, he's not. Time out never work with him because he will go to his room and he can stay there for 3 4 hours reading a book or playing with his toys. It's not a punishment for him. You say no, no dessert today, he will look at you and say fine, that's okay, without even getting upset. He's I will say that Nico is I I don't have one word to define him. I will say Nico is a surprise. That's what it is, because I will never know what I'm gonna get, because there's some days that we think that everything is going good and you give him the blue crayon instead of the red one, and it could be a meltdown for something as simple as that. So he's he is a surprise and a no, and I I, I don't even have the word in Spanish. That will be Nico.
Goodness, talking about pushing your boundaries. What have your kids taught you? What are they teaching you?
They're teaching me that I need to stop being an adult and I need to start thinking as a kid sometimes. I think as an adult, you have so many goals for your kids. You want so many things for them. You are always busy. You are always trying to do so many things because that's what it makes me happy. Many going to work, taking them to soccer practice, making TikToks, spending time with my husband, reading a book with them. But you know what? Sometimes they don't want any of that. yesterday, because we were so busy with soccer, Ryan looked at both of us, mommy and daddy, and say, can we cuddle for a minute? And we were like in the middle of like, I'm cleaning the kitchen. My husband is trying to put clothes away, you know, for Monday, because we have classes, we have a full schedule.
Exactly.
And my husband was like, no, Ryan, not right now. We'll do it later. And Nico came to me and said, Mommy, let's cuddle. And I look at my husband and say, let's do it. 15 minutes of cuddling, just in the couch. Let's not think. And my husband, you know, as a good adult, is like, honey, we still need to put clothes away. We need to give them a shower. We still need to finish the beds because, you know, we wash all the sheets on the weekend and all that. And I look at him, hold his hands, and I say, let's be kids with them. Let's just don't think about all our responsibilities. Let's just do it. And there's been those type of moments multiple times. Sometimes we go to the park, okay, and I'm on a phone call because I'm trying to take care of something, and my husband too, and they come and say, let's play hide and seek. And you know, my first reaction is like, in a minute. And then they will come back in a minute. And I'm like, you know what? Let me call you back. Yes, we'll take care of this after an hour. I put my cell phone away and I look at my husband. I'm like, they want to play hide and seek. And he's like, I'm really tired. Let's play hide and seek. 15 minutes. That's all. 15 minutes. And we go ahead and play hide and seek. Sometimes we play, the one that they love, tag. They love tag. You know, because it's not a planned activity. It's not like when we go to the park to practice soccer or when we go for a run, because they see those as a planned activity. It is more about take those 15 minutes to enjoy your kids being a kid with them. Or let's make a fort. That's the other thing. I love to have a clean house and an organized house. But there are days that, you know what? Let's put the sheets and the blankets and let's create a fort in the living room. They're only going to be 8 and 6 this year. Next year, they're 9 and 7. So that's what they have taught me. I knew how to be a kid a long time ago. Now I need their help to be a kid again.
That's absolutely beautiful. You made me teary again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like we all need that.
We do. The
I
pandemic.
do whatever it takes, you know, to keep my inner child alive. And if you know me and you're starting to, Disney's my number one thing. I'm wearing a Coco t-shirt right now from the movie Coco, of course. You can kind of sort of see it embroidered right there.
Oh, yes.
I'm literally next to my Winnie the Pooh stuffed animal, as you can clearly see through, not you guys, I guess, but you know, well, maybe in a picture of my personal profile, I think he's around, but definitely my TikToks, he's around. He's a good guest star, but you know, it's Disney. It's keeping that inner child alive, that inner spark alive as much as possible, because much like you, I am a planner. Much like you, I'm also a businesswoman. I run a whole lot of stuff. I need to be on the go constantly. We should stop and smell the roses and have cuddle time for 15 minutes and have that let's build a fort, let's have fun.
Yes.
My husband helps a whole lot, especially when it comes to like gaming, because he's a huge gamer and I'm not. But he's like, even if it's those 15 minutes, it's gonna help because you're just doing something fun.
It does. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I agree with those 15 minutes without a doubt.
Yes.
I can't believe we have to like start wrapping up because there's so many other interesting questions and whatnot, of course. I want to say, okay, I'm going to try to do 3 more because I really, well, 4 because that was really good. Okay, this one should be decently easy because I know there's a million, but choose the first one that comes to your mind. What is one of your favorite memories with them?
One of my favorite memories. I have a lot. I have a ton, but I will say my all-time favorite with Ryan. It is, and I know that this is gonna sound really cliche or however you say it, but it was that beautiful moment because I still remember how it was when they put him on my chest and he looking at me, and just, of course, he was crying. He came out crying like crazy. It's not that they needed to do anything to that baby. He cried and cried and cried. So as soon as they put him on my chest, and both of my kids have looked straight to my eyes, kind of like, because I go to Spanish mode right away. I don't speak English to them. So I say, hola, papa. Soy yo, mamá. Hi, baby. It's me, mommy. And Ryan opening his eyes like huge and like kind of like, oh, I know that voice. I need to start calming down. And just, that magical moment. And with Nico, he did the same the first moment when they put him on my chest. But the next day, when they brought him to the room, he was crying. And when the nurse gave Nico to me, Nico, as soon as he heard my voice, he did the same, opening his black eyes. He had the next day, the eyes changed and everything. But the second day, he still had like really dark black eyes. Look at me. And I swear to God, everybody says that the babies, when they smile, is because they're farting. But I think with Nico, he knew it was mommy. He already had 24 hours of my voice. He gave me a sweet smile, and I put him on my chest, and it was just me and the baby because at that time my husband was at home trying to take care of my oldest one. So I think that connection for me, yes, I have tons of memories, like when we go for a run, that when we are at soccer, like when I put them in bed. But that first connection, it is in my heart. It's like I have a memory right now with pictures in my head and with the video exactly how it happened of those two moments. Like when I make the first like eye contact that truly went inside my head and my heart.
That's absolutely beautiful. And I love every time that I hear these stories and I ask moms these questions, usually they give me that kind of response. Like as soon as they're born, as soon as I held him for the first time. And I'm like, wow. Like, and then a lot of my guests, they have kids who are like 30 years old by now, and they're like, you remember? It's like I remember like if I was yesterday. And I'm like, that's so freaking sweet. My gosh, I swear.
Yes.
So I know we're going to talk a lot more, obviously, about, being bilingual in the household and all these sorts of things with our upcoming interview with David. So I'm going to kind of skim over those questions, so you can, so our followers can, just go to that one, of course, whenever it comes out. My biggest last two questions would be for you. How do you self-care throughout this whole thing? How is that possible for you?
That is a great question. Thank you for asking me that, because many people sometimes, and I'm not saying this as a bragging or nothing, but when they meet us, or when some people see us in, even like at the park, they are like, oh, your kids are so good, they are so respectful, so polite, they are bilingual, they are this and that, and oh, you guys, so look, the first thing that you need to take care is yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you cannot be a good mom, you cannot be a good wife, you cannot be, in my case, a good nurse. I need to take care of me. So I love to exercise. It's me. It's my outlet. It's my time for me. I love to run. Now I just joined a bar class that I'm enjoying. First time ever. This is like my third week, and I think I'm gonna do it for the rest of my life. It's painful, but I'm finding a lot of like, it's making me feel strong. So anytime something makes me feel strong, I keep doing it. That's why I start with the running, because it makes me feel like a superwoman. Like, oh, I can see myself, and I'm like, oh, I can kick anybody's ass. So find a hobby. If for you it's dancing, do the dancing. If for you it's like going for a walk, go for a walk. But find something that makes you happy. For me, it's any, how I say, it's working out, but I don't consider working out because it's just an outlet for me. So if I'm not running, I'm doing videos at home like T25 or something like that, or now that I'm doing this part class. That's the first thing. Second one, I love to sleep. So my husband knows already, if there is a day that we don't have soccer or we don't have any activity, I will sleep until noon or 1 p.m. and he lets me. Like, and I don't want people to, because every time I say he let me, it's like, oh, you need to ask him for permission. No, but we are a team. We're a team, and it's a little bit of consideration to the other person, because during those 6 hours that I'm still sleeping in the morning, he's taking care of both kids. So I love to sleep. And any time that I want my time, I found that great person that he never say no. I know that it sounds like maybe I'm exaggerating, but Ariana, there's not been a day that I say, hey, I'm going to go to the mall. I just had a horrible day and I just need time to just go and try to find a pretty dress and just walk around. Oh, okay, go. Hey, honey, I need to go and do my nails today because I just want to do my nails and just feel pretty. And he's like, okay, go. Hey, I'm going to go with the girls and have a drink, because the extra thing, I never know what it's going to be. The way how I take care of myself is like my physical activity that I love, and it's my outlet, my sleep that I love to sleep. And then the third is whatever else I need that week or that month or that day or whatever. And I found a partner that gives me that he's like, okay, go. Oh, okay, it's brunch. Can I go? There's no a time that he have said. Maybe if it's something that we already have another activity plan and I have, then we need to make some rearrangement. But yeah, I do it. So I love myself so much. So in that way, I know I can project that to my kids, and I can make my kids love themselves, and I can make my husband to love himself and love me even more, because I do the same for him. He likes to do certain things, and as soon as he say, hey, I need this, go ahead, do it.
That is just outstanding and extraordinary all rolled into one. I love that it's a self-love kind of message. I know I've interviewed you with David with your episode coming up, but I know that you and me can talk more and more about all that, because I feel like it's a lot of things that women need to hear, and especially moms, because I read so many comments. Oh my God, I feel so guilty for taking me time, or I feel so guilty that I spent $100 on myself. Not even $100, like $5 on a Starbucks. You know what I mean? They're not my kid. And I'm like, first comes you. I mean, once again, I never want to overstep, because once again, I'm not a mom. So regardless of that little input, as much as I can help and bring guests on with that kind of mentality, say, hey, you got to love yourself, even if you're not a mom, actually. I mean, that's just a statement of its own. You got to love yourself and take care of yourself first. Because if you don't, everything else just breaks apart. I mean, that's just the first overall rule of life. The second thing, of course, your partner. I completely agree. I'm also blessed enough to have one relatively the same, fairly the same in a lot of different things, a lot of similar things. Sorry, a lot of different, likes, of course, and especially with this one, it's really it's a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
It's a partnership, and whatever you need, it's there. So it's just a beautiful message, without a doubt. So now this is kind of my bonus question, as always. I love this question. I think I definitely started it from last year. So in every single episode of these, I always ask. So imagine in 10 years' time, your boys are 16 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
They find this episode. They're like, oh my God, mom did a Mother's Day episode with, they always believe it with Arietta, or whatever. Or you feel like showing it to them, etc. Who knows? What would you say to them?
I will say to them exactly what I said to them every single night. Be happy. And I hope and I know that you are going to have a good heart. So if right now you are 16 and 18 and you are listening to this, I am 100% sure that you are a good human being, a good person, and I know that you are happy. I know 100% that you are a happy human being.
Absolutely beautiful. So to wrap it up, of course, apart from thank you so much for spending part of your I mean, we did not record this, Mother's Day weekend by any means, but it was Mother's Day week, so that counts.
Yes, yes, it is Mother's Day week.
Exactly. So thank you for spending, much like you, my both languages, especially at this time. You can tell you had a long day when. For spending this time with us, for sharing your story, for being just the beautiful sparkle maker, full of sunshine person that you are inside and out. So thank you so much. Talking about Mother's Day weekend, actually, how are you being celebrated? How do you get celebrated every day?
That's what I was just gonna say. I think in my case, again, everybody, we're all different. In my case, I feel that I celebrate Mother's Day every day. I get love from my boys. I get love from my husband. I get love from my mom, my dad, my brother, my uncles, my aunts. Um, this weekend, we're gonna spend it doing something that we all love. Soccer. We have a tournament, but I like it. That's what I like. But my mom is here, so I am planning in taking my mom for a nice dinner, just me and my mom, because I think that is very important too for my mom and for me, just to have that one-on-one at the same way that I love my time with my boys when I run. I know my mom enjoyed times just with me, not with my boys, not with my dad, not with my husband, just me and my mom. So I'm taking my mom for dinner after soccer. And I tell my husband to, like, yes, having one special day a year that reminds you how great you are as a mom is good. But if I would like to celebrate Mother's Day on August or in December, I know my boys and my husband will do it for me. So yes, they always take the time of doing something special, like maybe breakfast or something. But I feel special as a mom every single day. And I want to say something else too, that for every mom, when they say, oh, my kids are so good, they do this for me, this is do for you, that means that you're doing an amazing job, because we are the ones who are like making those little kids to be that good. When they give us a flower, or when they bring us like a drawing that they did for us, we are putting all that love on those little kids that they want to show us love back. So be proud of you, mommies. Never think that you're doing a bad job. We are not. If you have a good heart, if you're happy and you give tons of love to your kids, that's enough. You're doing a good job.
That's the best message to finish with, without a doubt. I go teary-eyed again because of course it's me. Um Happy Mother's Day, happy Mother's Year, happy Mother's Life.
Feliz
Basically,
Dia de las Madres.
exactamente, felicidades a las mamás.
Mhm.
I agree with you. I think Mother's Day, I think Valentine's Day, I think Friendship Day, if that even exists, which I'm assuming it does, is an everyday thing. And you just got to show your love no matter what. So, with all that being said and then some, my goodness, if not, we can talk forever. We're very excited to hear back from you with an upcoming episode of you and David and your story and how
Yes.
you met
Mhm.
and all of your stuff and bilingual, what's it called? Household,
Yes.
for example, multicultural. And as for tomorrow, the official quote unquote Mother's Day, but once again, it's every day, we have Janetka Bloom, who's also a Latin mom like you. She's a bilingual creator. She's a TV host. She's the CEO of Hispana Global, both in English and in Spanish, which is like beauty, fashion, travel, and just lots of parenting. She created Todo Bebe, so on and so forth, believe me. So she'll be here with us tomorrow for Mother's Day, and she's also going to share her Go to Fly story upcoming next month as well. She's a very special guest. So stay tuned for more, of course. Thank you so much once again, Carla, querida Carla. Muchísimas gracias por
Thank you.
estar.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Felicidades de la mamá. And go out, celebrate yourself just because you're worth it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're doing
Just
such a great
because you're a
job.
mom. That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. Talk to you all soon, Team Flyer. Bye.
Bye bye.